All right, remind everybody that we are live streaming this, and please silence your cell phones and remember that we're on camera. Try to sit up straight so no one doesn't yell at you. Don't wear a hat inside a building.
Bubbles off.
Elbows right.
That's
We're not eating.
Back of more together.
Yes.
Concealed now.
Get in there. All right, first thing we'll do is approve the minutes from last.
I read them, I thought they were excellent.
Dan loves to do them.
Pleasure every month.
That's what I think I
Is it, too late for the boots, safe for watches, Dan? No? All right. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll do the first. We'll just stay there, so I don't know.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?
Dan, definitely have to do the second on that one. Reading through these, I realized I was doing a lot of talking.
All right. Finances.
Do any of you have any questions on the treasurer's
I
report?
have one,
Okay.
glaring one. I don't think that the Earl Abbey Maintenance Trust Fund is zero.
We're in the process of collecting all the information and then we'll be able to report that.
Okay, I'm just testing. Just testing.
So most of the items here are the general fund and the water and sewer. And they are current to date.
Which is pretty awesome.
I see that we have about 35%, to be expended, so we're on track for the year. We have 4 months to go, so we're looking pretty good, I think, from the staff that are managing their budgets. There's a few ones that have gone over, but that was more or less for equipment that we had okay, but had to change the budget on. Which you could say that's good, or you could say that's bad. The state would probably say you're supposed to change the budget, then do it. Well, what kind of less formal here, I guess.
We'll do all those next month, so.
I thought it was good. I had it at home, and I studied it pretty closely today, so there's just a few little tweaks here and there. We're over $200 or something like that. To me, that's noise. $2.8 million budget, folks. So we're doing very well. Our new treasurer here's on top of it, so this is fabulous. Yeah, it's actual, it's up to date, finally, after a few years. Really nice. I'll make a motion to accept the financials, unless there's some more discussion on this.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. All right. Authorizing the payment of bills. Will entertain a motion.
I'll do that. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. First up is cemetery. Jim. Trim.
Revenues for the cemetery are maybe a little above what we budgeted, so not that we want people to die.
If that makes you happy.
No,
Okay.
no, be careful
A
here.
little bit.
Yeah, no, come on, guys, I want to record it here. People be beating my door down.
One of the things the cemetery folks did was put the fence around the oldest part of the cemetery where the headstones are all on the ground that were getting sometimes destroyed. And so that's good. They did a nice job of that very quickly. So, we entertain a motion to accept the cemetery.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Code enforcement.
We spent a lot of time reading that, and he's doing a fantastic job.
Yes, he
The
is.
specifics and things we go through, he's done awesome.
Yeah, he's
So much details.
quick, thorough.
Very good questions.
So you know what's going on around town?
Wait a minute. Karen placed soffit and fascia. Did you get that done yet?
Yes, I did.
Good job.
I just finished up. Painting will be next spring. So if you guys have nothing to do, it's a lot of fun.
We'll be there.
I have one of those arrow sprayers.
All right. I would entertain a motion to accept the report.
I'll make a motion that we accept the village report as written.
Second.
Discussion?
Only thing I wanted to ask is, fence at the post, looked like they had posted, I don't know if fence actually number now.
It's supposed to read that there's no fence, they do have a permit for it.
Probably wait for the post to cure.
Progressing.
I was gonna say, I was pleased to see that the posts were.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Logs.
There's a couple of shelter reports in there as well.
Okay.
So there was a shelter inspection. Looks like they passed completely. I was surprised at how many towns that she supports here. I assume that's who she supports, maybe not.
I'm confused by the dead animal running.
Yeah.
large.
I saw that too. Hate it when that happens.
I don't know if she works for all, but she's busy lady.
The inspection, we're all positive.
Yep. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right. Streets and parks.
So Mike, is our new sidewalk sweeper all tested and operating and ready to go?
The Ventec arrives tomorrow,
Oh, okay.
okay? All the stuff's not here for it yet. I'll tell you all about it now, Jasmine. That's all right.
Yeah, yeah.
The blade's here, the sander's here, the mower's here, but I don't need the mower. He doesn't inspect the rest of the stuff until the middle of next month, the end of this month, middle of next month. So anyway, he's gonna bring it up tomorrow. We're gonna start learning how to operate it. The whole thing here.
One of the items that we have that we're looking for is a grant for sidewalk repair for $1 million, which we hope we can get it because the sidewalks need it. Now, when you're doing snow plowing on the because I know I tripped and stubbed my feet on the inch and a half thing. So have we kind of identified
Devin's got a whole
sidewalk?
list. Tim and Paul have got a whole list of sidewalk problems.
You know, at one time, I had researched using and I don't know if anybody does it, where they use the instant foam that you do in walls, where you can drill a hole into the concrete and you kind of lift it up to level it, and it's polyurethane, so it doesn't die. And that was pretty expensive. But I don't know, you kind of mentioned that you might have a different way to kind of level out some of these without breaking them all to pieces, you do. And that would be something we can plan
The
on.
leveling really isn't the biggest issue. Our biggest issue is our tree roots.
Right, that's what it looks like, yeah.
We got more that are lifted, more than.
Well, that's what I meant. I mean, you gotta, somehow,
So maybe where
so the plow
the
doesn't get back
significant,
into it.
the significant things are, put one of those little reflective pole, driveway poles right there.
I got a box of them a couple weeks ago, and Devin's already talking about that. So
Okay.
it's gonna be a kind of exploratory thing for us too, with it being such a last.
Yep.
Because you want to break down some of these other notes on my report, and I'll tell you the rest of the stuff that I had. The
Sure.
contract will be delivered Wednesday. Jimmy's tractor information I gave to the mayor, it's in a folder, you can look that over later. Pickup truck won't be here till the end of the month, first part of December. Tractor route is in the works, and the mayor also has a copy of that. You can look that over, and if you could give it back to Dan, so I get it back in the morning.
Yep.
Any suggestions you got, don't be afraid to write it down.
Yep.
The hospice sign will be going up, it would have been 15, but with the weather, we'll see how it goes. We'll leave the hospice sign up. Amnesty's going good. I think several of you were over there and we were loaded. We'll see how this Saturday goes. I would like you to remind the people though about plowing the sidewalks. That it is in our code book that they are technically responsible for the sidewalks.
Right.
So, we're kind of helping them out.
Yeah.
Doing this. Okay.
So we're gonna have people who don't want us to do their sidewalks.
That's correct. I already got a couple.
Yep, so just make a list, people list, I don't know, post it in the cab, and then just skip it. And there might be people that say, yeah, you can plow, but don't salt.
Right.
If they,
And I got one of them already.
yeah, and if
That's fine.
that's fine, they are liable if someone slips and falls on the ice.
Sidewalk route I just told you about. NICEX should be done this week. They're closing in. And, all the complaints we're getting about Cortlandt Street and the leaves, it's kind of hard to get around and get all the leaves, so I gotta go around all their stuff, so that'll be taken care of this week. Sidewalk in front of the new building is going up. The general contractor called me and they wanted to pull a section of the concrete sidewalk out, that one pole that's got the transformer on, is gonna get replaced. And I said, no. You can cut, they gotta run a new conduit or something. I'm all right with them just cutting 3 or 4 inches out of the sidewalk, but I don't want that whole slab taken out. I don't know if anybody said anything to you.
No.
Yeah, that pretty much making it impossible to plow if you're not putting anything back in it right away.
Oh, yeah.
Plowing, people falling, and nah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm all right with him cutting a 3, 4 inches to get his conduit in, but I'm all right with him taking the whole slab out, so I think we're on the same page with all that. NICEX hasn't called me about the hole, so I don't really know when they're gonna replace it or what's going on. They'll probably do it right in the middle of winter or National Grid.
Right.
I think that's it, that covers. When you read through next stuff, obviously we switched over to a lot of winter stuff right now. Everything is ready for winter. I think he put in his report that we're still doing leaves, and we are still doing leaves, but the snow will take priority, so. I think that covers everything on that. You guys got anything else for me?
Does the sander need any special sander? Can we use the same salt that we use for?
Same salt.
Works for me.
Eventually, we'll transcribe that plan into a list form, and that way we can put it on the website, and people will know what order the streets are being, the sidewalks are being cleared.
I'll get it into a list form.
Okay, Yeah, and then
I
they
just
can,
wanted you to get a general idea of what we're
Yeah.
working with.
no, I appreciate it. It's good. All right.
I'm not gonna stick around too long, I'll stick around and mail them for a little bit here on the fire truck.
That's fine.
3 o'clock in the morning comes early now.
Yeah, yeah.
Syracuse's gonna get 15 inches of snow tonight.
Did
Where do
you,
think we're gonna get here?
Mike, we're not gonna use Jim's truck for plowing, right?
No.
No?
I have it set up for plowing. I mean, it does have a frame on, so it's, say one of our other trucks breaks down,
Then, okay,
yeah.
all right, so only in emergencies.
Strictly as a backup.
Perfect, got it, perfect. Any other questions? You entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the streets and parks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Yeah. Bill still here? Yeah, there it is.
Malin, I ran into a young man by the name of Justin in Messina, and he said that you were by far the best teacher he's ever had in his entire life for fire.
NBR FFT class at the Fire Academy.
Yep. He gave you many, many compliments.
It's always good to hear, because I've decided that that's one of the things I don't want to do anymore. Weather's too cold, it goes too long. So that's another retirement.
Well, feel good that you've done an A1 job.
Thanks.
All right, Malin, what do you have for us?
Fire truck. We've been talking about this for quite some time.
Epic.
Well, I get some answers. I just gotta figure out what I should do. That's the spec package in a small blueprint. I have for everybody, actually, I don't know if it's not there, but I guess you can, however you guys want to split these up. The piggybacking process, so that
All right,
the law is there, all that stuff that says that we don't have to go to bid for it.
sure.
So yesterday this stuff came via email. Let me see what I did in the rest of this. Oh, that's mine. And then here's the big one, this is the price. Which actually, I've done some reading and it's all said and done, it really isn't that bad. Thank you.
I mean, I guess we,
Yes, sir. Then $1 million. Yeah. So, in talking with 4 guys today, I'm not sure how or what you guys want to do. They would like to have something, if they can get an order before December 3rd, then they will order the chassis before the end of the year, and that price will be good. If it goes over that, the chassis price is going to change. I asked them about delivery. And the delivery chassis, if it's ordered by the end of the year, would be sometime 6-7 months. They were looking probably at 7 months, so sometime in the summer.
okay,
And the completed truck would be probably 14 to 15 months total. So we'd be looking at another 7 to 8 months on top of that.
okay.
So that's not bad. You wouldn't have to pay for the chassis until it arrived.
Oh, okay,
So until we, went and looked at it and said it's okay. Once they started and sent it up to the body manufacturer, you owe
Okay.
the money or you pay the floor plan.
right,
So you've already got 150 of the 290,000 for the chassis.
right.
The
They
same
can
thing,
insure
the rest of the truck wouldn't need to be paid for until it arrived here. We inspected it, we make sure everything was okay. And that number just for that part is 267,002. So the body part is less than the chassis, but a lot of that is because of all the safety things that are in the chassis now that we just, that's the way they are.
Right.
So that for what we looked at, what I'd like to do is, depending on how you guys want to handle this, is maybe authorize the mayor, whoever, to enter into an agreement with four guys prior to the December 3rd date, pending our guys just giving one final look at the specs, make sure that, you know, the questions that we had and that stuff were answered and the things were pretty much right. Try to minimize change orders down the road on either one of these. So that's where we are. We don't have to go to bid. All the piggyback stuff is there, it talks about it. And there's a section there, one of the papers is the piggyback, actually the first one, which is the award from Casanova to four guys for a truck. And then the piggyback clause is on the bottom of that, and then state law and some other things with that. So I think we would be covered with all that information. So I don't know where you want to go, but we're, as far as I'm concerned, we're at the end, other than just one quick review to make sure that, you know, the specs and blueprint are really where we want them to be, which I think they are. I don't think there's any real big issues that we would find, and we could be on the go by the end of the year. So you wouldn't have to pay anything for the chassis until midsummer. So I don't know what kind of other funds or where you're looking at taking the additional money from, but then you've got another, I don't know, 7 to 8 months before the payment on the rest of the truck is due at $267.
I would entertain a motion to authorize the entering into an agreement to purchase the fire truck.
I'll make that motion.
No, Dan?
Prefer to public hearing, have a special session on this, if it's possible, if it's agreeable to the board, just to, if it's such a large amount of money, I need to look at some of the figures where we're pulling money from. So the parts where I understand the payments until later, I want to make sure that's in place and ready to go. Obviously, we're going to budget for it too, allowing budgets. It's just authorizing it at 12/3, you know, soon, and we'll obviously go around the hook. Just like to make sure that the ducks are up before that happens.
I'd like to have Dante look at it. So I kind of agree with
So
that.
that always said the special session, right?
Before 12.
Before 12.
Maybe on the front end of one of the budget sessions.
Yeah.
That sound all right, Bill?
We'll have to figure that out and things today. And I got another meeting tonight that they scheduled already for my budget for. So I'd have to either be later than what was scheduled or different time.
We do another one, we have this 29th.
It's cutting a little closer.
The 29th?
I just, I'd like to,
Yeah.
be here on the 29th.
Well, Mike's got the same issue as far as the fire part of it, because he's got an EMT class the Thursday night.
Who was it?
Oh, appreciate it. Pick a new day,
Yeah.
then a week.
Hey guys, earlier in the week, 29th, maybe a bit earlier.
Okay. Day
Well,
earlier.
yeah, we'll get together and try to make something happen that day for Dave as far
What
as.
does it take to you send them a fax, or what do you do to initiate it so we don't miss out on the pricing?
I would call them and they
A
would
phone
send
call
us,
or a fax back or something?
I would call them and they would send us a contract made up, Village of Homer, 4 guys.
Man, okay, so we don't miss something, okay, good.
And that can be faxed.
All right.
I'm sure that they're gonna want a hard original copy, but, I mean, a phone call.
Okay, I didn't want to miss out on the sale.
Yeah, a phone call by the 3rd telling them that we're gonna do this,
Yeah,
I think is.
we'll get it to them sooner than that. Dan, that whole week with the 29th is, the 26th to the 30th is good for me, so. I mean, tonight.
Yeah, I got quite a lot of leeway that week, that's why I'd rather.
All right, so is that settled?
Yeah. You had something else, Bailey?
Yes. Tad and I met, and I didn't put it in my report, I forgot to, but we met on the fire contracts. I think you're good with the town of Homer. I got to the station last night and I had already talked with the deputy supervisor, Chris Ryan of the town of Somerville about it. And there was a phone message on the answering machine at the fire station. To talk to me, I don't know when it came, Tim just told me about it last night, takes care of that sort of thing, so, we'll just have to figure out where we want to go. They've done their preliminary budget, so they must have some figure that they're okay with, but I don't know how long the contract or any of that kind of thing, but they are aware it comes out at the end of the year, and I'm just ready to go for that, so we need to kind of make that thing happen.
Okay, that was Somerville, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the maximum would be a 1-year contract so that we can thoroughly research rates before the next contract.
The other thing I've got here is this is what they gave the city of Portland, which they said that they would do for us. It's Family Health Network, and their pricing and information on physicals. We actually met with them. One of you has got a note that the PSA drove $177.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd like to be able to, maybe the 1st of December, if we get any new applicants, start using them and go ahead and get an agreement filled out with them. The 165, the firefighter physical, is more than we're paying right now. It's 125. But I would also like to add some of the stuff that they have at the bottom, because the other thing I got today was a stack of papers on the cancer bill, which the physicals to complement that, and it's all interior people and exterior, so it breaks things up. I don't think all the physicals would be at the most expensive rate, but if we added in the EKG, a blood draw, and a comprehensive metabolic panel, that's another $165. There's another $59. So on top of the 165, it could make our interior firefighter physical $224.45, which is $100 more than we're paying now. But not every new person that we come in is going for an interior physical. And then at some point, the physical is supposed to show that they're cancer-free. And I would say if we had any members coming in who were at the age of 40 or over, and were going to be interior firefighters, that we should add the 177 for the PSA exam because we're forced to cover them by the cancer bill as long as they're a member and 5 years after that. So that one test initially when they come in would be a proof that at least there's not prostate cancer, and some of the other blood draws might be a little indication, hey, is there anything wrong with any of the folks coming in for another, the other 59.45, making a new physical of $224.45 instead of $125 that we're paying now. I budgeted extra money in this year's budget in anticipation of that change in physicals. So I think we would be good, anything that we've got coming, and we're currently right now working on our budget amongst the chiefs. And We're gonna look at how many members we have come in, how many actually go to the interior, how many are exterior or other job functions that the physical requirements are less. So, but I think it's gonna be better. Portland and Portlandville both are using this group now. We've had some issues with our current provider in terms of getting them in and billing and that kind of thing. And I think it's going to be a little bit better physical than what we're getting. So unless you guys have an issue, I would kind of get this set up for us and get some sort of agreement written and whether you have to sign it or whether I can sign it as far as the fire department and we're doing that. I guess we'd have to look at that.
Who would sign it? Yeah, we'll find out. Somebody will sign it. I think it's a good idea. You guys,
Yes.
So if that's the case, I'll start talking with them and have them say, look, yeah, this is what we want to do and break these numbers up so we have them in mind of what I just explained to you and, you know, what the cost would be for different levels that we would use so we know where that should go.
okay.
Yeah. This one requires us to give notice. Does the other one require us to give notice, whatever our previous provider was?
What's that now?
Does the previous provider require us to give notice of termination? This one would require 60 days.
There was nothing. There is no agreement whatsoever, so there's no holding on price. There's no guarantee that they're going to continue. We're having a problem with getting members in just based on what's going on with the different doctors and they're not spending as much time. And
I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to send them anything.
no, there is no written agreement with them. And this would guarantee the price too for as long as either they've got to tell us something different or stop the contract. And the other prices changed a couple of times.
Very good. Anything else, Bill?
I don't believe so, ladies and gentlemen, unless there's questions for the meeting. 501 is currently at 4 guys, and it's got a couple of valve issues, hopefully be back by tomorrow.
Nothing major.
A couple of discharge valves and a relief valve, which is a pressure control device that they had to look at for. It's kind of a pain in the neck to get into where it is. So.
Right. I'll make a motion to accept the fire report.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So we'll work on a date to get together in terms of the contract for the truck, and I'll get something squared away in the physicals, and you and I need to talk about Summer Hill, is that?
And might as well do your budget the same night that we do the hearing for the truck
Okay,
contract.
we'll try to set that up, we've got a chief meeting scheduled, hopefully tomorrow night, if all goes well, and Mike can make it, and what is an issue, and we're kind of supposed to get some snow tomorrow.
Very good.
Excellent.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, folks.
Police.
I gotta see, you gotta find the site. Line of fire, as it were.
So chief, the bike patrol is done for the year?
Oh, yeah.
Good, Mike.
Right.
I did see the go-kart around my street, I think. 2 kids went on it.
You go for a ride on it?
No, I didn't. I waved to them. I don't know.
They were pushing it when they went.
No, they were driving it right down. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it was running. It went right down Warren Street. Yeah, they were smiling. They had a good time. I'm glad that the cameras work so well.
Yeah, I think it's big deterrent. Yes.
So Chief, you're gonna be at Cineplex Suite again on
Small Business Saturday on the 24th.
November 24th.
I think it's gone over the last couple of years pretty good, so.
It just gives you an excuse not to go deer hunting.
I don't know.
I understand how it is. I know how it is. You don't like to be out in the cold.
That's true. Happens when you get old.
I'll make a motion that we accept the police department report as written.
Did we, does everybody know that the IRT is coming back to Homer? Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice thing, Chief, you just have to dust off the plan from last year.
All I gotta do is change dates.
I need to talk to you about that at some point.
And I'll put this out to our residents. Chief put it here just to remind the village residents that they're planning to go away for the holidays or winter months to notify the Homer Police Department so they can conduct property checks as well as have contact information in the event we may need to contact them. The vacant house form is on the village website, so that's a great service by the police department.
I used them last year. Nobody broke in, so it was all good.
Put something on our Facebook page today about porch pirates. It's the people following the FedEx and the UPS trucks around, stealing packages off porches. So I encourage people to look at the tips that we put on our Facebook page. So.
Wait for a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Anything else, Chief?
I just see that you guys are going to have some discussion on the speed zone.
Yes.
Yes.
School zones. I'd be in favor of that. I think it only makes sense because both those streets encompass the high school, so actually even Park Street too, maybe.
Yeah, that's, the resident brought it up, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but we got the map over there, so.
Yeah, I'd be in favor, definitely be in favor of it.
Very good. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thanks, Chief. All right. Recreation. Mr. Zach.
Want me to go through it?
You give us the highlights.
Football's done and over with. We had our banquet last week, I don't know which day. That went really well. Casey, our 7-year veteran of the program, who has been kind of running it alongside me, unofficially retired, you could say. He's going to stick around for the flag program, try and rebuild that up, so our numbers in the tackle program continue to be on the rise. Cheerleading had their competition in Moravia 2 weeks ago, and the junior team placed first. So 2 years in a row, we've had the team place first. And just a reminder that those numbers doubled from last year.
Excellent.
So we're talking about planning on keeping those numbers high as well. Probably splitting the squad into a junior and senior team officially rather than lumping everybody together like we did this year. Basketball starts tomorrow. Most of the park reservation system for 2019 is online.
Okay.
On reserve parks. Goes from Labor Day, Memorial Day to I think Labor Day, if I'm not mistaken. And if the weather's nice like it was this year, all the way till mid-October, I'll get with Mike and we'll make sure it stays open. And then Light of My Life cookies and hot cocoa are good to go from the nannies. And Santa Claus is all set. He had a few requests. Wants to sit down off the Lady Pavilion. I'll have somebody kind of guide the kids in rather than just everybody run out to Santa and start screaming at him. That's really all I got.
Excellent.
We're starting up rec meetings this Thursday.
Good. And I will, maybe not. we'll come up with a Friday soon to meet about the park.
Okay, cool.
I'll make a motion to accept the Parks report.
I'll second.
Or the rec report.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right, unanimous. For billing? All right, so
Full page next month, pretty nice. What
oh,
other ads?
yeah, I like the full page.
Yeah, I have to work on that. It's not a done deal,
All
but
right,
that's,
That would just be like a fold and third with a tape, or what would you do for mailing?
well, I was thinking of like just a regular mailing now.
In an envelope.
Yeah. I was just thinking that it would be easier for residents to,
Especially if they see the Homer symbol or emblem on our pre-printed envelopes. I assume we have pre-printed envelopes, yes. No, man,
soon.
so, sorry,
that would
coming.
make it
Got
pricier though to send out.
Yeah, this is
copies
a
of the
nice-
special envelopes. And- So we can work on all of that, the logistics of that.
Well, yeah, I think it's an opportunity for us to communicate with residents. So,
Kristen, when's the next meeting?
Let's see, where are we? October, so it'd be January. Yeah, January 1st.
maybe not in time for January. I want to be really ready, and I want to have content to put in. If we don't have any content the first time, that'd be terrible.
So you're thinking like the back full of content, or what do you think of as far as?
Maybe a second sheet, it's just the
Okay,
front and back of stuff,
okay.
of things,
Okay.
pictures of Martin. Very good. Take motion.
I'll make a motion to accept that agreement.
A second.
Discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right, water and sewer monthly report, but these guys have been working hard, not just on the water and sewer stuff, but just working on the church. They got the drop ceiling all down. I did get in touch with City of Portland about the meters and whether or not they owed us money. Well, part of it, there's a match required on the meters on our side of the grant. And so rather than send us a bill for our side of the grant, they just,
Our labor was the match.
our labor was. So based on. All right.
I make a motion to accept the water and sewer monthly report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, privilege of the floor. Anyone here that's not on the agenda that would like to speak? Seeing none? You're up, Mark.
Yep.
You are.
Says old business.
Oh, I wouldn't have any old business.
History is old business.
Yeah,
I assume you've all got copies.
we do.
I read it too. It's pretty impressive.
Well, I'm just gonna do highlights. Pat ducked out of the town.
Yeah.
I mean, he was sent to it twice, my condolences to Nick, who has to send to this a second time. But keep in mind, I don't get monthly reports, so it all gets thrown in November. This is the format required by the state, and this will be submitted to the county authority and to the state authority either later this evening or tomorrow.
It's good right there, yeah.
Is it good?
Okay. So I'll walk through a few things here, such as the number of office visits. That should be corrected to be number of town hall visits. I don't have an office yet. But they are working on it. The town's working on it up above us, and it's looking great. So there were like 13 people who came here for different reasons. Number of phone, email inquiries received, answered, estimated in excess of 60. That's not counting the communications from municipal officials and officers of the Landmark Society. Number of municipal meetings attended. State gives examples of those that I would be expected to possibly be in on. 6 altogether. I've itemized them for you down below. When it says November 8th town board meeting and November 9th village board, remember that means a year ago. This goes from November 1st to November 1st. About the last third of that paragraph, I did meet with the town supervisor, the town clerk, Randy Crawford. He's the preservation architect, to discuss options for the disposition of the sets, the old doors, and other items on the stage and in the balcony area. Everything's been cleared away. Appropriate place found for everything. Balcony chairs have been sold, and those proceeds put into the town's account for the hopefully potential monument out front someday. I thought it was interesting to note, again, right where I am in that big paragraph, that Fred Ford removed the coverings placed over the front, and the balcony windows were put there to keep out light. From back in the days when the movie theater was here, that's the first light to enter since 1938. That was an historic moment. Let there be light. And it was good. So things are going on in the balcony area as well. All kinds of discoveries being made, which I'll show you later. Number of meetings out of office, 17, and they go on to the next page. If you go down to the 5th bulleted item, I attended the Landmark Society board meeting by request to learn of efforts by Harry Coleman and others to restore the gravesite of the earliest settlers in Glenwood Cemetery. That's the area that the village has done a great job of very quickly fencing in, an area that's been very attractive, I guess, for teenagers to party in. If you go up there, I see why. It's a very creepy area up there. It's spooky. Great for making a movie. But it's not good to have recreational vehicles and snowmobiles going over these ancient gravestones that are just flat. Walking across the area like walking across a sidewalk. And I suspect the best thing to do is leave them as is. But Harry would like to raise up one of them, the one for Dan Brown, the popcorn man. 1845 was one of 3 black citizens in this community who made a living by peddling popcorn balls the size of grapefruit and candy, and very popular, of course, with the kids at the academy. And I see a spot there where his picture, his photograph was embedded in that stone, but obviously somebody worked away and removed that. Who knows how many years ago. But Harry would like to find a way to find a picture. I do have one that you could blow up and possibly reinsert once we get that stone upright, if we can. It's tricky business. Should add, Harry has put together countless volumes, binders of all the cemeteries in the township and even outside the township of Homer, which is a great benefit to my office because I get usually 2 or 3 per month requests of people for genealogical. Was my ancestor born here, died here, whatever? Well, if they died here, we have a quick way to find out. And all of his binders are kept at the History Center. So I can, with an email, I can refer them to Kathy Gertzley or somebody at that office. On September 18th, I delivered local World War I, how appropriate, huh? World War I. Doughboy artifacts donated by Karen Vaughn Perrault, former Homer resident, now living in Corning. It was an ancestor of hers that lived on Center Street. So that has been delivered to the Homeville Museum to add to their military collection. On September 21st, I met with Kathy Beardsley, Megan Eaves, and Megan Lawton at the Convention and Visitors Center in Cortland to discuss ways to promote heritage tourism in Homer and the county. What I found fascinating is that there's a gob of money that people are willing to pay for heritage tourism to places that have ghost tours. They're really attracted to that which is haunted, eerie, or spooky, or whatever. Hey, we qualify. If not, we'll make it happen. Okay. So, like the 1890 house is now officially on their tourism trail, and I thought Homer was going to be too, but Kathy will have to get after them on On October 11th, I attended a meeting of the former Episcopal Church, at the former Episcopal Church on the Green with the mayor, the deputy mayor, the Landmark Society Board, and the director of the Homer Center for the Arts to discuss a proposed Church on the Green Joint Committee to explore the sustained usage of the former Episcopal Church. And I guess that's moving along nicely. And I'd like to take this moment to thank the many people, countless people who are employees of the village and outside who have managed to salvage this gem on the Green. Save it from harm by human beings, by nature. I'm very appreciative, as part of my role is to preserve the history and architecture of this community. It's does my heart good that these folks have shared an interest and the village is stood behind it to save it from the wrecking bar or from vandalism or from nature. Under exhibits, the elementary school principal, Jim McGorry, stumbled across in some closet over there a couple of boxes filled with artifacts, possibly from an earlier celebration of the school's past. And so I brought them over here to the town hall, and it took me a while. I inventoried what I hope will be part of a 200 artifacts to exhibit during Winterfest to mark the bicentennial of state-approved education in Homer, 1819 to 2019. The state likes you to, of course, likes me, municipal historians, to have classroom lectures and presentations. So it says here in January, I initiated communication with Homer Junior High School history teacher Pete Agard about student participation in the 2019 bicentennial observance of the school. A student-funded history club responded affirmatively to a proposed partnership with the Landmark Society to research and develop walking tours of their own that they would develop and share with their peers or anybody else in the community interested, probably sometime in the spring. Under public lectures and presentations, on April 28th, David Quinlan of Homer and I presented a lecture with PowerPoint at the Rockwell Museum in Corning, New York, entitled Lincoln's Gift from Central New York. We put a real push in for Homer, in case you don't know where the heart of the state is located, and those folks do now. We had to apply to be accepted to do this presentation. They're affiliated with the Smithsonian, and it was taped, and we were blown away and appreciative that they said, come on over and do your presentation. On May 19th, I participated in the Cortland County Hall of Fame induction ceremony. This was at the Living History Center. By accepting for Andrew D. White, he couldn't make it. Co-founder and first president of Cornell University. I nominated him, and that's why I gave a brief bio in person and for the wall. I think I've had somebody accepted every year for the past 3 years. I've had this. Historical research, high on the list, village trustee Clune, you know him? And I discovered that a photo lineup of Homer mayors from John Briggs to the present was missing. The photo of Mayor Suits, I think that's been corrected or should be, and one for the mayor from 1945 to 1949. On November 2nd, I found, it says in the town minutes, that's not right, it's in the village minutes, I found that the mayor for that time period was Howard R. Ward, and I tracked down a descendant who happened to be a fellow graduate of mine from high school, who provided a photo, and I had David Quinlan enlarge it, so when this renovation is done and you're ready to show the parade of mayors since the 1920s forward, we can do that. Let me show you what, this was the original of Mayor Ward, and we blew it up for future framing.
That's very good.
As the town noted, handsome guy, and as I noted, we only have handsome men and women. We do not produce anything but. And as far as the children, school, they're all above average. Like will be good.
Martin, just to give you an update, I spoke with the former mayor about a month or so ago. She's still considering that. And there's a gentleman to my left who still hasn't made it over We have things set up. All they have to do is all they have to do is show up. They got the information, the money is set aside. All they have to do is
Physically be there.
physically be there.
We can always arrange for them to send them to the police station. Take a picture of it this way and this way. Whichever one comes out fast, we go with.
Which way?
What do you think, right? Yeah, I did some research on the history of the former Episcopal Church on the green and gathered the current lease, 2017, the survey and the letter drawn up by the First Religious Society to help our mayor and all the rest of the people involved, the First Religious Society, be able to get this thing where it is now. And again, thank you ever so much. On November 22nd, Russ Starr spoke by phone of a possible portrait in Philadelphia of Watts Harbor done by F.B. Carpenter. He sent me a copy so I could check and see if it was authentic. I found the exact image in Howe's biography of Jedediah Barber, and the portrait is authentic. And through negotiations with the owner in Philadelphia and Russ Starr and cooperation of the village, we've been able to bring it back, and it's coming back from Westlake Conservators in Skinny Atlas, and will be displayed in December at a meeting of the Landmark Society. This is the way it looked when we first saw it. You ignore the background. So this would be Carpenter portrait number 24 at the Village of Homer in different organizations and individuals' homes. And again, notice, handsome. We only have handsome people. Under historical publications, as you know, I continue to run a column on Homer history in the Homer News, which is published every other week. I spent June and July researching and writing 21, I think we're halfway through them now, 21 installments on a brief history of education in Homer from 1819 to 2019 to recognize again the bicentennial of state-approved education in Homer that originated on the Homer Green.
It is a pleasure to read the bridge. From the bottom of my heart.
Oh, thank you. So you're the one reading it. No one else here is confessing. You got nothing else to do? Slow business, slow news day, huh?
I always find time for it.
Thank you. I wanted to point out at the top of page 4 that from before Christmas until early January 2018, I edited the draft of Civil War Soldiers from Cortland County by our own local Civil War historian, Ed Rouse. It's a meticulously research compendium in alphabetical order. I wrote of this 1,623 men who enlisted. This is not counting those who were drafted. This is just those who said, I step forward, take me. I will fight to save the Union and possibly free the slaves. So this was from all of Cortland County. And so I edited that, and Ed Rouse is writing up the 200-page narrative that's to go with it and intends to have it published. It's going to be a phenomenal resource for scholars and students, and it's great. We got so many people who are really great in local history in this community. We're very blessed. The next paragraph, really, I put in as a plug. Some people don't like history. Nobody in this room, I'm sure, are reading about it. If so, it's probably because of the way it was taught to you, poorly. So I tried to approach it like doing a piece of historical fiction. I know some people who say, I love history now because I approached it through historical fiction, like a family saga that deals with the Civil War or whatever. So in early February, I was supposed to have released in ebook form, first of all, and then 2 months later in paperback. This is what the cover will look like. The Suffragettes Saga,
Christmas present.
a murder mystery. It's based on the never resolved murder that took place in 1894 in Homer. I changed some names out of respect to the families who are still alive and are probably never going to know who killed their ancestor. I changed some names, but a lot of the other names have been kept. And as authors note in the back of the book, which will explain what inspired this to be done. And I am sure that a lot of the locals are going to have a blast reading, because they're going to recognize places. This community had in 1894 like 6 saloons. I mean, let's face it, what else was there to do? No internet, no radio, no television, no computers. You got together, you talk, and you drink. That was it. And then you went out and murdered somebody. You can get away with murder in 1894 in Homer. But see, when I researched that bothered me, because justice wasn't being done. So I figured, I'm gonna fix that by making up my own fictional situation whereby the researcher doesn't reach the end of the rope, the bad guy does. That's what it's supposed to happen, right? Boy, the night I hung that guy, it was, I'm sorry, I'm perverse. I missed it. Oh, it's coming. So under historical events and celebrations, as part of the 2018 celebration of historic Homer, sponsored by the Landmark Society, that was just last October 12th and 13th. I gave a lecture in Glenwood Cemetery at the Resurrected Episcopal Church on the Green, and then a guided walking tour dressed as an early 1900s pastor. Guided walking tour of the cemetery, which I'm happy to tell you has been designated as a historic site by the state of New York. And in December, we will find out if the feds will grant it historical site listing in the National Register of Historic Places. Which means, can you imagine driving along 81 someday and seeing a sign that says Old Homer Village, Glenwood Cemetery, National Historic Sites? Well, I think I'll turn off and see what this place has got. Change. We've got food, we've got gas, we've got lodging. Now, Cortland has the lodging, but I got to keep them in the loop too. Here's the bottom of page 4. Number 2, I received electronically on December 11th the files of research material compiled by the late Harley M. Albro, former teacher and friend of mine. He compiled information on the history of 25 properties over here on Elm Avenue in the village, which will be so appreciated if and when the Landmark Society starts extending the present historic district to include Elm Avenue. I had a historical preservation expert do a walking tour with me, and he said, why the heck in 1972 didn't you include Elm? Look at these places with vital siting that this shouldn't be. And I said, sorry, I just came back home to teach in 1972. I'm responsible. He said, that should have been included. Elm should have been included. But Harley's done all that legwork for us. At the top of page 5, number 6, I made arrangements in September for the Homer Alumni Association's collection, it's very extensive, of Homer High School yearbooks to be digitized for free by an organization in Oklahoma that trains those in the state's correctional facilities for a productive reentry into society. So they scanned them. So they did this in 6 weeks' time. No charge to the Homer Alumni Association. With a DVD included, so they can always put it online or whatever, so the public could have access to yearbooks.
That's awesome. So if you need a copy of the yearbook, they can come out for you.
Yep. Under heritage tourism projects, which the state likes to see, again, the Lincoln Monument and the Central New York project, I listed those individuals and organizations I solicited for help. I pretty much gave up around February 14th, I think. About 4 years of this has been enough. Anything happens through grants that the village can get, that's great.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna hold you to it.
I want you to.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Oh, there was a project to promote Portland County. On October 4th, a videographer from CGI Communications in Rochester filmed me portraying William Stoddard outside the Stoddard birth site on Albany Street in Homer. The county considers the most historic place in the county to be Homer, and thus they included being in this little vignette as part of the promotional video that's supposed to be accessible at some point on the county's website. The next item also relates, I think, to the next thing that's listed on your agenda. On October 25th, I submitted to the William G. Pomeroy Foundation in Syracuse an application for a free. I noticed on the agenda here, it's listed as I'm looking for approval for funding. Nope, it's free. I just need approval. After the fact, so to speak, I had a deadline to meet, October 31st, that they wanted to know if anybody wanted a Legends and Lore marker. And so I proposed signage to be installed near the boulder and plaque at the intersection of Hooker Ave and North Main Street, the traditional site of the first temporary residence of the county's first 3 settlers of European descent. The marker would recognize the account of Charles Kingsbury of Homer of how Rhoda Beebe, aged 26, lived alone at that site for 6 wintry weeks in 1791 to 92, subsisting on roots and tree bark until the 2 men returned from Windsor, New York with cattle and provisions. I think it's a long overdue recognition of the persevering role of our founding mothers, not just our founding fathers. And when Dr. Bardos from the state was helping me do the nomination form, she picked out 8 people who were worthy of recognition by the state and by the heads. Rhoda was selected out of the other 2 male early settlers. Rhoda was selected, not because she had to endure more perhaps that particular winter. All I know is that as a junior high student, when I first read about that, this woman living alone with wolves and panthers and bears around here, and Kingsbury said she also had a child. Now again, that's lore. But whether she's a founding mother for real or otherwise, I think it's nice to mark this site up here and give credit. So all I need is approval. And by the way, I may also need approval for a historic marker from the William G. Pomeroy Foundation. Again, free, but it has to be applied for only through municipal historians. To have a marker, if the school board accepts it this evening, to have a blue and gold New York State marker put out maybe near the flagpole between the Episcopal Church and the school, that would say something similar to this. I get this right now. Since February 1819, always a school here, Cortland Academy, Homer Academy and Union School, Homer Central School District Elementary School. And they could have some kind of unveiling or part of their bicentennial if they want. I have to have approval to do this as a municipal historian, and then I have to get approval from the school, obviously, and I mentioned approval from the First Religious Society, since they're the property owners. It's complicated, doesn't it? Well, that's what I'll work out the next 2 months, with your approval. Going on to page 6, as you'll notice, the bulk of the rest of the report is a list of all the acquisitions, all the many things that come this way. My rule of thumb has always been whatever happens in Homer stays in Homer. But I tell people who call up, if your family does not want these items for sentimental or historical reasons, bring them to your municipal historian, trust him or her to be able to make a decision as to whether it stays in the municipal archives, goes to one of the many places we have locally here for museums, or it goes to the curb. My decision. So you can see the various things that have come our way. One cute thing, I found it cute, I'm on page 6. Deanne Finkbeiner found some more things from local barber Bill Dillon about his World War II experience, but had also had a very amusing written instructions from the late Mary Wagner given to Bill for how she wanted her 2 boys' haircut to be done, or she would be back that afternoon. The fact that Bill kept it indicates he appreciated the humor, or maybe not so. Maybe he worked under great pressure.
He was my neighbor, he was fun.
Yeah, it was my barber too. years ago when I had hair at Harvard. On page 7, third item down, on March 20th, I received copies of original photo taken circa 1890 of a football team behind the Episcopal Church. This was provided by Russ Starr from the effects of Anna Hilton. Going down the next line, I eventually received the original photo along with some other items. Let me show you. This was the original photo, which is too small for you to see. So we had it blown up for a couple of reasons. This was enlarged. Again, all hands on men. And this is where the elementary school north wing would be, where they're playing football. Notice the lack of padding, helmets, such as they were, and probably nowhere near the size of a rule book we have developed today for football competition. That's back when football was football. And we had it further blown up so we could see actually the back of the Episcopal Church when there was more pinnacles on top of the roof, possibly before they lowered it. So that would make it 1890. The folks back there. I think that was Coach Orvis was at that time. Okay, how are we doing? Second from the bottom of page 7, on August 8th, I received a signed copy of, again, Ed Rouse's book. This one, not a big compendium, but a very helpful book on the 3 Babcock boys of Homer who all perished in the Civil War. The family had 3 sons, and they paid the ultimate price, 3 empty seats at the dinner table. One of them is buried in Andersonville, Georgia, prison camp, notorious prison camp. And one is buried in Gettysburg, where he fell. But there are markers for these 2 in Glenwood. And along with the third one is buried there, and that's General Willoughby Babcock. And without this kind of information, I wouldn't have been able to compile the information the state wanted for the Glenwood Cemetery.